If you hear about crypto and you say all these people are getting fucking rich overnight, okay, you're gonna get fucked. I'm telling you. You think you're gonna get rich quick, you're gonna get fucked every single time. But if you understand what it's doing, you understand what individual projects are trying to accomplish, then you can kind of be like, okay, you're looking at it like a business. Is this something that I could see people using in their day-to-day life? Is it something that makes sense? Okay, maybe I put money in and I wait 10, 15 years.
I'm just trying to figure out how to evaluate it. Because, okay, so exactly what you just said, that's a very good point. When I was looking at this is like a long time ago.
Yeah.
Welcome to another episode of Broadcast Millionaires.
Bam.
Today we're going to be talking about a slew of topics. He likes that word.
I hated that.
And we're going to talk about a bit about the budget. So we might get a little political, but, you know, really about the budget. And we really want to talk about types of investments and how to make the best out of it, how to really make your way on the way to a millionaire. Like, what is the best course of action for that? And there's tried and true methodologies, but no one size fits all. So I kind of want to use up some of our experiences and
I feel like it's
run through that.
Tried and true, he says.
Tried and true.
They're just like strategies that work in certain scenarios.
Exactly, and for certain people.
Yeah.
With different risk tolerance.
I think it ultimately is a mindset too, right? If
I think that's huge.
I think that's the biggest thing is your mindset. And like, I think a lot of people know how to do it, but they don't know how to implement it. And then they go to implement it, but they just don't have that willpower to stay consistent and do what needs to be done consistently to reach that pinnacle.
Yeah. See, I think a lot of people, to agree with you, I think a lot of people know what to do, what the steps are. And then the execution component of it, they also see all the potential downfalls and cannot get their head out of that.
Yeah.
So I think people focus too much on the risks, focus too much on the downfall.
Yeah.
But what if I fail? What if I this? And
you'll never grow.
And then they just never walk out from it.
Yeah. Someone coming up the stairs, Elliott?
Yeah.
Now you get what I was thinking that first day.
It's a guest speaker.
Surprise!
It's Ty. Remember? Yeah. So yeah, I think a lot of people are terrified of failing, and as a result, don't take the first step.
I'm actually gonna say that I don't think everybody knows. I think they know the right direction, but they don't know the right steps to take.
Okay.
So for a lot of people, it's almost like, I don't know where to start, so they never actually like start. Yeah. If that makes sense, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I agree with you on that but I feel like people like they want to go from 0 to 100. They want to get to the top of the mountain very quickly, and they don't realize that there's smaller steps they need to take to get there. So they take a look at the end goal, and then don't realize how many steps need to be taken to get to that end goal. And then it goes back to just like the execution and the consistency, because you're not going to just jump up to the top of the mountain. You got to consistently climb each step, stagger a few steps, fall back a few steps, but consistently climb up.
So it might be a lack of patience. Like a lack of, like people aren't willing to be in it for the long run to make it to the top kind of idea.
Yeah.
Well, I think we live in an era of quick gratification, right? Like you gotta, I have a business. I have to be successful like right away. I have to be profitable right away. I have to, drive a Benz right away or whatever. Probably.
Oh, is that not right?
No, but it's true. Like it's the Instagram.
Touched on it last
time,
right?
Like it just it
now,
fuels
now
people.
Instagram's shutting us down.
Yeah, I'm going after Meta.
We're never getting reach ever.
I think it does influence how people view business and their investments in every single category.
Yeah.
And you know how we do these short clips, right, with the podcast? Well, government's doing these short clips too. And so sometimes those are so well tailored.
I'm sorry,
what?
They're so well tailored, right? So they do these like short clips.
Of what?
No, not of our podcast, of them, of their own shit.
Do they? I've never seen one.
Yeah, Trudeau and Poilievre each have like a short clip.
They have commercials that'll come on like the TV, or I'll see it on social media. He's right.
Yeah. And so, but then it becomes
like the
so
heritage
tailored.
moments. Remember the heritage moments?
Oh
those
my
small
God.
clips.
There was like, but like
Elliott's too young for that.
Poilievre is like talking shit about the budget. Trudeau's trying to defend the budget. I've never seen a government defend the budget for like 2 weeks after the budget. You know,
Yeah.
like it's been a while. You know,
That's because everybody's talking so much about it and how shitty it is.
okay, so we
So
might
he
as
has
well.
no choice but to fucking defend his bullshit.
Yeah. So I don't think that they thought it would be that big of an uproar. But they literally said, "Oh, well, the capital gains thing only affects 12 to 13% of the population." And I'm thinking, buddy, you won with like 35% last year, like last time. Don't you think that's a third of the population that could potentially vote for you? So that's one. The second thing is those 12 to 13% is a significant portion of the population, and they have family, they have relatives, they have kids, they have. So you're thinking of 12 to 13 of the households, maybe, or even maybe the like the expansion of each number of those might be more. It might actually represent 20%, 30% of the population.
I just feel like he's alienating the wrong groups of people as well. I saw an article that was talking about a lot of doctors who are pushing back on this. And right now, you cannot afford to lose doctors.
Absolutely not.
And how many of them are going to leave to go to the States or go to the private sector and say, fuck this bullshit?
Well, okay, so I hear that comment, but I don't know that that's necessarily going to happen. But it just, if somebody's over the edge, if somebody's over... Like they're overworked. Okay, I'm not gonna say they're underpaid, but you know we'll let them decide. Yeah. But they make good money. Okay, but part of that is because of the amount of social sacrifices that they have to do, the amount of effort and time that they have to do. Kind of like realtors, we have to work nonstop. Lawyers have to work nonstop. These professions that are high demand with a particular skill set that you have to have tend to have to be highly rewarded. So if there's a lot of risk, there has to be a lot of reward. If capital gains means that there's a profit on a risk, whereas income tax is a profit on no risk. It's guaranteed interest income, or it's guaranteed rent, or it's guaranteed salary. Those are guaranteed income. You've done a task, you're getting the reward. Whereas with capital gain, it's based on profit. And I think that's why they're trying to make a profit to retire eventually, right?
What I love is he's taxing these people. But where's that tax money going? You know what I mean?
To pay for the shit that...
But that's what I mean. Like, find a way to help the people who need help. Don't hurt the people who are working hard and succeeding.
Yeah.
Help the people who need the help. Figure out a way to help them. Don't punish people for doing what they were told to do since they were kids, which is to go to school, get an education, get a good job, make money, and build a family. Like, you're doing all of these things. It's what the system told us to do and taught us to do.
Yeah.
And now it's like, well, you've done it too well. We're going to punish you and tax you more. But the people who are struggling are still struggling. So what did we accomplish?
Well, they're saying that they're taking this capital gains money, the extra taxes that they're going to collect. They're taking that to put it towards subsidizing development projects and affordable housing and halal mortgages.
Yeah.
And, like he's just coming out. He's like, you get one, you get, like, everybody is getting something in this budget. And obviously we have no money.
Yeah.
Our economy's down. We're barely recovered from the pandemic.
Biggest debt we've ever been in in our entire history of our country.
And so he's like, oh, we're trying to protect the millennials. We're trying to make it fair for Canadians. But by increasing our debt load significantly to non-productive economic output, we're actually going to do the reverse. People are not going to invest in Canada. We need capital. If you want a high-rise building, guess what? There has to be a profit in there for a guy to go and put $10 million in that high-rise to start the project, to potentially lose a few $1 million, to potentially gain a few $1 million. If you don't have the right formula for people to be rewarded to invest, they're not going to invest. They're going to go elsewhere, and that's the fucking problem. Right, Elliott?
That's right. That's what I mean. They're punishing the people who are doing these things.
Exactly.
But I don't think that it's helping the money that they're gaining and putting it to wherever they're claiming to put it, which to me is bullshit. They're not doing anything with that money but putting it in their own pockets. And then again,
they send it to Ukraine.
Yeah.
Well,
among other places. They're sending it outside of the country. We'll just put it that way.
Yeah, exactly.
We're not going to specify any things or anyone or any people,
or any Swiss accounts that are coming back.
Oh my God!
Wasn't there the Panama Papers or whatever that came out? We should check those out and see, like,
Let me know, man.
What's the Panama Papers?
There was a leak. There was a leak of all these offshore accounts and who they're linked to, like politically and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, that's interesting. How did these people like shave off all this money away and not pay taxes on it? Mm-hmm. Look, I think you're right, and to add, I think we should also look at the evolution of economies and how they're actually able to pull cash out from other countries and bring it into theirs. In the United States, they have what we used to call back in the day. I don't know if they still call it now, but it used to be called the brain drain. So they bought people, essentially. They said, hey, we'll give you green cards if you come and work in this specialized field, whether it's nuclear science or tech or mathematics or whatever engineering that they want to advance.
The brain drain.
Brain drain. So the U.S. was very, very popular in the 90s to go out and pull out the best of the best across the world and bring them to the United States. Canada was doing that as well in terms of like bringing in what we called, remember, economic immigrants.
Yeah.
And that used to be heavily weighed on your economic status in your country, your education levels, the number of kids that you had, how old the kids were, like the younger the better.
But then you weren't allowed to work in those fields.
But then you can't work in those fields. Yeah. Well, if it's science and research, you can. But if it's like a licensed field,
medical field,
lawyers, anything like that.
But the U.S. goes further and says, just like Dubai and just like Saudi, hey, we won't tax you that much or very little or nothing at all, and kind of what we're doing with big organizations in Canada, if you bring in X amount of money.
Yeah.
We want you to bring in money. So the states compete, like the various states in the United States compete to say, okay, I want Elliott to come and invest $10 million. Now you're going to get a bunch of followers. People are like, yo, he's got
not yet.
On the way.
Yeah.
And so they're going to give you tax advantages and they're going to promote it so you could create X amount of number of jobs, Y number of investments throughout the city. And by doing that, you revitalize, right? Throwing $1 into the system can make 10. Everybody can be happy.
So what you're saying is if you don't tax wealthy corporations, things like that, then they'll bring more business into the country.
And they'll leave the money.
Economy.
Yeah.
And then there'll actually be more money in the country.
Correct.
Whereas right now they're taxing the shit out of them, so they're leaving, and then we're poor as fuck.
We're poor.
Yeah.
So why do you think closed economies don't do well? Like what's North Korea doing? What advanced?
We're not allowed in there.
Money's like gasoline to the engine, right? Like
exactly.
The economy is stalling out. So in order to, then get it to keep going, you need to pour more money into it to do business, do projects, things like this, so that money starts flowing around again, right?
So, when you go into a pool and nobody's swimming, okay?
So what I said was wrong.
Well, yeah, because
kind of,
yeah.
Okay. Well, I think I know what you mean.
Like, but it's wrong.
People need to make money there in the country.
Yeah.
But it's not like the government needs to throw the money in there.
No. I mean,
you
outside
need outside
money.
Sources to come in and for money to be generated.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so I was talking to a buddy, and I was on Sina. Hashtag Sina Akhtari.
Yeah, Sina.
I love Sina. Such a good guy.
There should be a movie. I love Sina. There's used to be I love
we
Susie.
We should have him on the podcast.
Susie. I love Lucy. It used to be I love Lucy.
Who's Lucy?
Man, like you were like
He's too young.
Yeah, what the hell? Okay, we never watched it for sure, but we knew about it.
Yo, how are you shaming me for being young? I should shame y'all for being old.
We're not old. We're just cultured. It's just different. So
tomatoes.
So Sina and I are talking, and it's one of those conversations where like the revelation occurs like with this high. We're both like, oh my god, we figured out. Okay, so this is what we figured out. Okay, he goes, why is it that the government is taxing capital gains? Wouldn't that get people to stop buying cottages, stop investing in properties, stop investing in stocks? It doesn't just stop at properties, eh, guys?
No, it stops at everything.
You name it,
Yeah.
And if you're in a corporation, God help you, right? Because then it's more taxes. Anyways, so he's like, so what's the point? Do you think the whole notion behind, you will own nothing
and be
happy.
Yeah.
Is that coming to fruition? Right? And so we start talking, and then part of the theory is that CMHC a few years ago was really pushing, hey, everybody should be able to buy, and then slowly into the pandemic they switched the rhetoric to actually everybody deserves a home. And so it went from we're here to help you buy to now we're just changing the policies to allow everybody to have a home, have a roof over their head. And from a government standpoint, honestly, I think that's right. Okay, they should. Their main concern is doesn't matter who
people have shelter.
Yeah, you should
people have
shelter.
shelter. Yeah, people are fed. People are are safe. That should be the government's mandate. Anyways, but from a taxation standpoint, if you own a house, you make your income and then you go and pay the mortgage down, you pay your property taxes, etc. Okay, that's it. You've already paid taxes on your income, and then you have the rest of the money to pay your mortgage and your food and whatever. If you own a rental property, the tenant gets taxed on their income, then gives you the rent to pay the mortgage and whatnot. There's some tax deductions and whatnot, but whatever is left over or whatever you're paying down your equity with is taxed again. So taxed money is taxed twice with
it's
the
more than
rental.
Twice, brother. It's everywhere.
Yeah, it's everywhere, right? But like I'm saying, like already there's another layer of taxation as soon as that same property becomes a rental property.
Yeah.
Even though if the owner lived in there'd be no tax advantage and no tax consequence as a result. But if there's a tenant in there, the government actually makes more money.
Sounds like
way.
a great business model. If you're the government.
Yo, it's literally like you go work. Okay, you and I are going into business together. Yeah. You go work. You take all the effort. You take all the risk. You put in all the money. And when you make a profit, we'll split it.
Yeah, that's pretty much. They're probably taking more than just half, too.
We walked away from deals because we're like, no, that's too much profit taking. Or we walked away from deals.
Yeah. It's true.
Right?
Yeah.
And then, but with the government's like, what are you going to do?
Yeah.
Yeah, but I think like that's the game that we're living in, so you have to play it to your advantage, do whatever you can on the tax, like for tax advantages.
They're just making it harder
like
for you to do so though at this point.
Yeah, but there's ways.
Because when you're succeeding at it, you're getting hit even harder with more taxes.
Yeah, but then you could throw things. So generally speaking, you could throw things into the company and then say, okay, I'm not going to get taxed at source as much. I'm going to get taxed later on when I sell and whatnot. Okay.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be that it balances out, but the corporation sometimes acts like an RRSP. It defers, you pay taxes, but it defers the majority of the taxes.
Just to be clear, you pay taxes.
You
CRA do not come after Omar.
Yeah. RRSPs are great to grow your investments because you defer the taxes, right? So if you have $50,000 in there, you don't actually pay the taxes on all the gains, whereas every time you made $5,000 on the personal side outside the RSP, you get taxed. So let's say you have 50K, goes up to 55, you get taxed on the 5,000 profit. So then you're 52.5. Then next year your balance is 52. Whereas the other guy that has his money in the RSP starts off with 55 and then keeps going, and then gets taxed at the very end. So it grows the money way faster in an RSP.
But then you get taxed later on when you need. You get taxed later on when you need the funds when you're in retirement.
Yeah.
And then you're fucked anyway.
But you grew the funds a lot faster. Like if you're both earning the same and you're saving the same rate after whatever number of years, one guy saved 50,000, the other guy would have had 100,000 because of taxation.
Yeah.
Right? And so to start off your investments with 100,000 versus a guy starting with 50, you'll do a lot more.
I wonder how many people are following all the numbers Omar's throwing out right now.
Yeah.
Because I'm trying to keep up. I'm trying to keep up.
I'm already lost.
Elliott's like, who's this guy?
Why do we have him on this show?
Yeah, he's got 100 G's.
Yo, somebody actually has to follow it and make sure, like, fact check him, Because now he's just throwing numbers. Who knows if he's even on the right track?
Man, get out of here. Don't mess with me.
How do you think how he succeeded? He just throws out numbers at people. They get confused. Like, he must know what he's talking about.
At the end of the day, you're going to make money. Don't even worry about it.
He's talking so much, he must know what's going on. But why does his ears keep growing every time he says something?
That's like the Pinocchio.
Exactly.
Upside down. Whatever.
It's okay.
Okay, I'm not gonna insult you guys. You're beneath me, anyways.
Wow. Join Lawful Realty.
Yeah. Yeah, we give words of affirmation.
You know what I love though? How we got into this whole conversation. We're talking about how to succeed and how to become millionaires, and we just started trashing the government and how they're destroying us and stopping us from doing so.
But you can still, like Elliott said it, you could you just need to know the game.
Yeah.
Just play it.
And that's it, you know?
As Triple H once said, it's all about the game. And
who the hell's Triple H?
Don't worry, Erasmus.
No, he's a wrestler, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Come on, bro. That one I knew.
Oh, you know that?
I don't know wrestling at all, but I do know. I've heard of.
Wait, isn't the Hulk wrestler?
Hulk Hogan. The Hulk is a comic book figure. The Incredible Hulk.
While everybody else was watching, cartoons, wrestling,
I'm like,
things
do you see this new stats formula?
Yeah, Omar was reading taxation.
I want to know what Omar looked like as a kid and what he did.
We played outside all the time.
Thick glasses, something like that,
with the white, like right in the middle there.
The Scotch tape.
Getting bullied.
The Scotch tape. No. I was so cute. Actually, they used to call me
just because your mom told you that.
Famous word. It's cute.
So I was new in this school in elementary, and I wanted to look cool. Remember, like those? Okay, you won't remember, but remember like Stitches and remember Stitches? Okay.
Yeah, well, I never shopped.
Jacob, I don't know if you remember this stuff. No. Okay, so they had this like puffy jackets. Okay, in like the 90s, puffy jackets were like.
Yeah, I think
it's still a thing.
It came back,
and then it just came back, bro. It just came back.
Yeah.
Okay.
Is that true though?
Trudeau.
No, true though.
Yeah, man. And so what was the brands like Fubu and like?
Yeah, Fubu was huge.
Yeah, Fubu was. I couldn't afford Fubu, but anyway, so we go to International Clothers or something like that, right?
Oh my God, International Clothers! I forgot about that place.
Ghetto as hell.
What an immigrant place to go.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Oh
and then I'm like obsessed with this like puffy jacket, and
it's
and
called
it was
a puffer coat.
Okay, but back then I didn't know what it was. I was like 10.
Back then, they weren't puffer coats; they were just puffy jackets.
They were just jackets.
Oh, okay.
You just thought they were warmer because they were puffy, and so the puffier, the warmer it was.
That's it, and it was like super cool.
And then you couldn't walk in them because you were like.
I think,
actually,
like all
it's like a status thing. The bigger the puff, then.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, the better it is apparently.
Is that what? You talking about jackets? Or
Guys, our parents are watching this. Okay.
So then I go to school. I'm all like, proud of it. And like it's this big jacket, and it was oversized. Like I couldn't find the right size for me because it was like
swimming.
It's okay. You're gonna grow into it, right? Because you couldn't afford to buy multiple jackets. So you had to buy one like 3 sizes too big so you could grow into it and it'll last you longer.
Yeah, this is like grade 5 or 6. Okay, and I'm new at this school. I walk into the school bus, and I'm wearing this long jacket. It's like oversized essentially. It's like probably like 3 years older than what I should have been wearing. And it's like passing my knee, and then this one guy who we later became friends starts calling me Big Bird.
Yeah.
And he's like, "Oh, Big Bird's here," and then that stuck. It was yellow.
Oh my God!
It stuck, man, for 3 or 4 years. It was depressing. I was like,
if you only know in every group
this
chat
actually
right now.
explains so much as to why Omar bullies and makes fun of everybody all the time.
Absolutely.
He's just getting back
childhood
at us.
trauma.
His childhood trauma.
Yeah.
Taking it out on the rest of us. Fucking Big Bird.
Oh my God.
Yeah, think about how you felt, Big Bird.
Yeah.
That's how you make everybody around you feel, you know?
But everybody was laughing. I tried. I tell the teachers. Nothing happened.
Oh, he's a snitch too. Oh my God, bro.
It went on for so long.
On yourself, you talk so much about
it was for so long. It was.
Oh my goodness.
And then him and I. This is Shaheen. Yeah, Shaheen and Barbo. Some of my like good friends, man. And we would literally get dropped off. Yeah, no.
They just used you. Did you used to do their homework? Is that when they became?
No. They're nerds. So we would get dropped off by the school bus, and then we'd like become like BFFs and like go bike riding and like everything all night, and then in the morning on the bus it starts all over again. Yeah, kids are mean, man. Kids are. Wow. So this is why
I just learned so much.
Yeah. Like I said, this explains so much as to why he is the way he is.
Yeah, there's more to it, man.
I'm sure there is. We'll unfold it in future episodes.
Yeah.
We should just have an episode where we have like a chaise lounge and Omar's just gonna lie down on it.
Yeah, like
he's gonna tell us about his problems.
I need a Jawad to take a picture of Big Bird and AI Omar's face on it.
Oh my God, no, he's listening now. He's probably like.
Okay, let's get back on topic.
Yeah, back at it.
Okay, so what are we gonna do to crack the system to make money and to allow all our viewership?
I'm gonna vote for Omar for.
I was gonna vote for Pedro, but yeah. You know that movie? No, okay.
Yes, it's
Oh
the
my
guy,
God.
curly hair, white guy.
Oh, if I
like-
can remember. Joel will know.
Napoleon Dynamite.
Oh, Napoleon, yeah, that's good job. Ding, 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 ding.
Don't play with me.
Yeah, that was like your era too, no?
Kinda, I guess.
That was a stupid movie.
I felt so brain dead after watching that.
Yeah.
It's okay.
We should just have a podcast where we're watching like what's it called? Step Brothers.
Yeah.
Oh, I bet you haven't watched it. Okay, get out of here. I was gonna kick you off.
Yeah. No, that's a
Okay,
funny one.
so how are we gonna crack the code to essentially make money in whichever, whatever your best skill sets are? What would you say? I'll put you on the spot.
Say that again.
So let's say a buddy of yours wants to go and open some sort of business or investment or something like that. What would be one of your early thoughts? And because as a realtor, I know you get asked this stuff all the time.
Yeah.
Okay. So what would you say?
Connect with the right people, I think, is huge in terms of, you need, like, don't try and do it all by yourself. It's like really a team game, no matter what business you're getting in.
Yeah, that's true.
I think that's very important. And then also like realizing what your skill sets are.
So are you
like,
saying, team as in partnering up, or just like having the
it
right
could
people?
Be. It
having
could
the right
be.
people?
Maybe
Okay.
maybe if you're an extroverted person, for example, and you're good at talking to people, then maybe you're a front-facing person and you partner with someone that's better on the back end, for example, systems, things like this. That's important. But I also mean, talk to an accountant to figure out, what you're doing and how you're going to be taxed on it, things like that. Talk to a lawyer, understand what kind of things you may run into, or
But I think a lot of people are like, oh, I'm going to go hire an accountant and a lawyer that's going to cost me a lot of money up front. I don't have that money. I only have a little bit of money to get the information, like to
Network
start
is
the whole
important.
thing.
Yeah, as a network, I think you got to keep a good circle of people around you. You are who you keep around you, in my opinion. Like you said, if you know somebody who's a good talker, hang out with them, see what they do and how they do it. Somebody who's better on the back end, somebody who's good at math. I mean, I feel like you learn so much from the people around you, and you're all going to help each other grow. So if
I feel like you're just mentioning all my qualities.
That's why I'm never
next
around
episode
you.
we're returning without Omar.
But you got to
brain.
keep yourself around the right people, and I feel like you can learn so much by being around someone. Like, I mean, I was in the car business for 12 years, and I'm very lucky and thankful that I had good mentors around me, because I watched what they did and how they did it, and I learned through experience and through them and watching them and just little tricks of the trade that you're not going to learn, or you're going to learn yourself, but you're going to stumble a few times before you learn it, right? So try and learn off of other people's mistakes as well, rather than learning off of your own.
I think
it's a huge
mentorship
thing.
is huge.
Yeah,
it's very,
100%.
very important.
Yeah.
All I learned from mine is to shit on my friends. But...
Yeah. Well, you have a mentor?
Well,
he claims to be your mentor.
I
right?
can't say it.
It's a position of leadership. That's really all it is. Not necessarily a good one.
No, but I think that's huge. And understanding that mistakes will happen, and just because you take a loss in some aspect of it, there's never actually a loss if you learn from it. You know what I mean?
Just a potential, not a potential, a minor setback.
Yeah, that's
right,
it. It's a mindset game, like you said at the beginning, right? Like everything is mindset. Like the way I move about life is like I can't lose because I'll learn from it.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's a nice way of looking.
Like I literally can't lose.
Yeah.
Like
money versus education versus, like, we've done renos. I remember when I first started going into real estate about 15 years ago, and I remember doing renos, and the renos exceeded budget like big time, and we were like revitalizing the whole place, and it was a 40K reno that turned into 250,000, and by all means, but the scope changed and it kept changing. It's not just it was poor budgeting. And then which led to, we also need to do this extra thing. Since we're doing this, we might as well put a third unit. And it just became like the scope became really big. So to a point where I was bootstrapping everything. I was living off of a suitcase. I'd wake up, go to work, do my 9 to 5.
Sleep in the suitcase.
In a suit, slept on a couch in one of our apartment, like one of our units, with the other tenants upstairs and downstairs. Okay, I'm on the main floor during the construction period, and
man.
it was bad, man.
Yeah.
And so I was hustling, and at one point, my brother and one of my best friends were helping us out on the project, and we had to like make concessions and pay them over like 3 years, like on a monthly basis. I learned how to do electrical. I did plumbing. I did whatever I can. I did mainly the electrical, and that saved us like $20,000. My brother doing the plumbing, that saved us another 20,000. Then the city inspects, ESA inspects, all that stuff. So we hustled. Like that is the real hustle. Like I've learned, and I will never do that again because I don't have the time for it. But at the time, I had no other option but to finish work, rush home, go Home Depot, buy whatever I needed to buy, and start working on it.
Yeah,
I think putting yourself in positions like that is one of the best things.
I did not try to put myself in that position,
Yeah,
though.
obviously,
I just had to, in order to survive.
No, but you did put yourself in that position by taking on a project like that. You
Yeah,
know
but
what I mean,
well,
but yeah,
I just think there was a lack of planning.
it was just poor planning. Yeah.
Did you rely on your team of people that have maybe done it before, or maybe a mentor?
I did, but we were all fairly new. This is like, remember, 15 years ago. So I was younger than you, and that's pretty fucking young. I was 22 when I started.
This guy's calling me a baby again.
Yeah,
I get it. He's jealous.
I mean, Nas said it prime. Nas said it best: is you never plan to fail, you just fail to plan. So
failing to plan is planning to fail. Yeah. There we go.
So I mean, you definitely got to put a plan together right off the bat.
But see, I find as an entrepreneur, if you did too much planning,
you never go.
You'll never do it.
No, but you need to have some sort of plan in place so that you know which direction you're taking, how to get there, and then you need to have milestones so that you can say, okay, this was the plan. I need to succeed. I need to get to step one. Okay, I've succeeded step one, on to the next step, right? And it's not always going to work that way. Mike Tyson said it well when he said everyone's got a plan till they get punched in the face, and I live by that.
Mike Tyson said a lot of crazy shit, though.
but like you need to have some sort of scope to say, okay, like I'm on track to succeed.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? You need some sort of milestones to look forward to and work towards.
Yeah.
So you can succeed, right?
I don't think you can plan out every step along the way, though. Like it has to be a loose plan.
Not every step, but there needs to be some sort of
of course, guiding path, right?
Yeah, exactly.
But,
like shit's gonna happen that like you could never ever foresee for, and like a problem with like just people's thinking in general is like you can't you think everything's gonna go the way you want it to go.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden you're 3 steps in and the direction changes.
Oh, that's exactly. So that's exactly what happened. Yeah.
So you can't be too rigid in the plan. You need to be able to
be flexible
and kind of move in a different direction if need be.
Yeah, cross.
Yeah. And like things take time, and time is money too. And the reason why is because you're obviously paying a mortgage while you're renovating and you're doing these things. Another good business that you grew up in this is owning a retail establishment, right?
Yeah. I mean, it can be good. It's got its ups and downs. It's funny because most people think, like for a convenience store, for example, my parents used to have a quickie store. Everybody thought we owned that quickie store, but they didn't own anything. There's the corporation, and then they just ran a certain location. So they were technically only managers. Operators, exactly. So
like a franchise type idea?
Sort of.
Your microphone.
Yeah.
Sorry.
But so they don't own the actual establishment, but they do own the product that's in the store. And so anytime someone steals from them, it's coming out of their pocket because they paid for that product.
So they pay for the inventory.
They pay for the inventory. So the inventory, they pay for it, or it comes on loan, or however you want to put it.
Yeah.
And then, at the end of every month, you owe a certain amount. I mean, I was very young, so I don't know all the complete ins and outs.
Yeah.
But I just know anytime somebody stole from them, it was literally coming out of their pocket. So a lot of people go and steal from places, and they think it's a harmless act or crime.
Like you're going after the big corporations.
Yeah, but you're not. You're actually hurting the poor people who are the managers, because the owners aren't going to take the hit on it. They have safeguards in place, and if anything goes missing, it's on the person running it, right?
Yeah, the franchise.
You'd have to know that that's going to happen no matter what. So you would have some sort of like
there's some sort of contingencies behind it.
Or there's a provision for loss or something.
Yeah, exactly. Like you budget for it.
Yeah, so like one of our friends used to have a gas station, and it's the same thing. Like in order for you to establish a gas station, that'll be in the millions, right? So what happens is a big company comes in, establishes the gas station.
Yeah.
You get a particular percentage of the profits, and I think percentage of the like usually there's a convenience store, and then they get more of that percentage.
I don't think the gas itself was really a big profit. I think it's just more the convenience store aspect of it, the products they were selling inside the store.
Yeah, so the gas brings
they got
you
taxed so much, but the gas brings them in, and then you sell them other things.
Yeah, so the business is not really the gas. The business is actually the products.
Yeah,
for the operator. Yeah. For the big company, the products allow having a free employee, essentially. Yeah, somebody to manage it with like some sort of.
I just don't think people realize how much of your own work goes into these businesses either. So a lot of people will want to go open a business, whether it be a convenience store, a gas station, a restaurant, a cafe. They don't realize how many hours go into actually doing it, and they think they can just hire someone to do it.
Yeah.
But then things are never going to get done properly, and they're not going to actually be profitable, because they're going to cut corners, or they're going to go throw things out that they could have salvaged. There's like so much to it that people just don't realize.
I feel like there's no actual such thing as passive, like, income. In the sense of like owning a business, though, you have to build it to the point that becomes being passive.
100%.
Like it has to be so big that it has, or not big, not even it has to be so strong.
Like, like you have to lay the foundation for it to then
and the process. And
that's it. Yeah. It's all systems and process.
But that also means, like, let's say you are running a convenience store. If you work the convenience store, let's say some of the ones that we see it for sale, and we're helping people buy. Let's say they make $100,000 a year and it costs you $150K to buy it. Okay. That's if you work the store. If you don't work the store, then you're going to pay the guy 50, 60K a year.
Yeah.
Maybe. And you still have to do some work. And then so all of a sudden the passive income, assuming everything is perfect, is maybe 30, 40K.
Yeah.
Right. So then it's like your payback now goes to like, what is that? 15, probably like 5-6 years payback.
Yeah.
Until you actually make money now, right? And then it becomes passive.
And then you got to find the right people around to actually run your business for you the way that you're going to run it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's the hardest thing. Like my parents had businesses their whole lives, or all of my life, I should say. And like finding staff to actually work and do proper work and do things the right way and not steal from you.
Yeah.
Like my parents had a cafe and they did a lot of catering. They had an employee whose new boyfriend also did catering. And so all of a sudden we were losing catering jobs. So my mom caught the girl red-handed rejecting a catering job and then referring them to her boyfriend's business instead.
Wow.
Yeah. And this was the person who built the store with my parents. Like she was their first employee.
From the ground up.
Yeah, she was there from the ground up, and like they treated them well, man. Like they treated them like family, you know what I mean? And then you see things like that happen. So it's easier said than done, but definitely you have to lay down the foundation, the groundwork. You have to be there a lot more than
and I hear the same thing for McDonald's and Tim Hortons. Like if you're looking to open up one of those franchises, they take, I think most franchises take like 5% franchise fee. But with them, I think it's like higher. Like they're escalating, and they require that you're very like hands-on. And so even if you had $2 million worth of Tim Hortons sales, let's say, which is a really good store, you may be walking away with $100K or something. But the cost to even get that $100K is like $700,000. If you go on their website, like it's high. Like it's so if you're gonna do that, to invest and work and make $100K, then man, just go get a job and then keep your money and put it in interest only, and then that's it. If you
then it's a patience game. It's a long game.
No, the game with those ones, I think, is owning like 3, 4, 5, 6.
Yeah,
I think it's owning a bunch. Then you're not complaining. Then the government's going to take all.
But then you have to look at like then mentality comes back into it, right? Okay, somebody says, "Oh, you want me to spend 700 to make 100." Well, owning 2, 3 now times that 700 by 2, 3. To some people, they can't handle that kind of like, I guess, debt level to the like, because then you're under a lot of pressure. If that shit doesn't perform, then like you're in a lot of trouble at that point.
Well, it's a long-term game, so you start with the one.
Yeah.
You get a feel for it. You get good enough at it that you can open the second.
Yeah.
And so that's where you don't go from 0 to 100. Those are those steps.
That's it.
That I was saying, like, just start, take your first step.
But somebody will look at somebody with like 3 or 4 of them and be like, "Oh, like that's so easy to do," not knowing that it took them 10 years
2 million.
to get to that.
Exactly.
Yeah. And it's supposed to be the one business is going to fuel the second business. Like the banks are easier to lend once you have cash flow operations. Like some banks will lend you tons of money.
If
you have proof of concept, if you have proof of concept, man, like, and that's proving it. You know, even on Dragon's Den, you go and then they go, okay,
how many sales you
got?
Yeah.
So it's a venture capital.
Yeah.
But even at that, they're like, okay, well, what's your proof of concept? What have you done, and in what time frame? What's your gross profit in that time frame? And so it tells you that any investor wants you to show that you've done something with what.
I'm holding my coffee cup, and I almost went to drink the microphone.
Sorry. And we laugh.
Big Bird.
He's gonna regret telling us that story.
Oh, I'm telling you.
Taking the mic in my. Anyways. You're like. I was on a roll, bro. But okay, so proof of concept, like BDC will give you money based on your cash flow projections and based on your cash flow, like your actual earnings. And so the more money that you make, the more money that you leave in the corporation that you don't actually take to yourself, the more money that they'll lend you. So mortgage brokers can use that same stuff to, like, the same profitability to go and get you different types of loans, which allows you to reinvest in the projects, reinvest in your business.
It's almost like they can, because the bank is taking on the risk, like it's almost like you're proving that they can trust you to make money with the money they give you, right?
Well, think about it. If you ask Rabieh, okay,
here, Rabieh, here's $100. If I can see that he could turn that into $250 relatively quickly,
will you give him another $200?
For $100, I'm going to do it again. You know? This time I might say, you know what? Let me give you $300. You know what I mean?
But that's how Ponzi scheme starts, right?
Shit. I was thinking of a different style of Ponzi scheme.
But that's true. Like, I think proof of concept is.
Well, don't the banks like loan out our money like 9 times? Or you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like
absolutely.
With fractional
lending, so fractional lending is when there's.
I'm not saying Ponzi scheme, but
but banks are allowed. They're above everything.
Obviously,
like the government, they can do whatever they want, and there's no consequences.
It's so as you repay. So if you give them $10, they could lend against the $10, and so
$9
they could lend out. If the government says you have to leave 10%, they could lend out 9. So now in your books, it shows that you have your $10, and in your books, the loan is $9. So you have a deposit of $10, and you have a loan of $9. As you pay back $1 a year, now he could lend out 90 cents against that one.
Yeah, he pays back the 9, and I can go.
But guess what? If he pulled out the full $9 as a loan, not just a line credit, the full $9 as a loan, and puts it back into his checking account, so you got $10. $9 loan, and then $9 in the checking account, which he's now paying interest on. The $9 can get lent out, let's say $8.
$8.10.
And that's to everybody else.
Oh my God!
Isn't that crazy? If it's a 10% fractional system. So, but the banks have to maintain a particular percentage. So if they don't have that from deposits, then they go out to the bond market and borrow that money, put that in the bank account, and then it starts again.
But that's the game, right?
That's the game. So if you really want to be rich, open up a bank.
And start lending your money.
Just start creating money out of it.
That's really it. But it's not like Canada's changed a little bit, but it is still a fraction. Like you do require a certain amount of deposits to be left alone. But if you do want to be rich, I think it's perseverance, like you said, and to slowly grow your empire. Having one business is good that you focus on. You could be really wealthy with it, but having like several shops, like you said, or investing in a franchise, or investing in real estate, or getting, like you need something that's able to replicate itself. And stocks, like I think you have to hit like big.
I feel like you need to spend a lot of time on stocks for it to be very profitable, because you really need to study these businesses and these companies that you're investing in. You gotta watch every step and see when the spikes are going up and down and pull in and pull up.
It's a full-time job.
Yeah, but it's no different to us making money in real estate. Like,
but
but we're in real estate day to day, so you just need to be in stocks.
But you can also put money into real estate and let it ride a lot more easily and be a little bit more comfortable that your profits are going to increase and your money is going to grow.
Yeah, but if you look at the S&P 500 over the last 20, 30 years, it's the same thing. It's just a different avenue.
Yeah, but it's not the same thing, because this one, it could grow and I could pull money from it and then keep it and then still grow another property. Whereas the S&P 500, I put my money in there, and if I don't like that stock or if it grew too much, I have to sell it and then I go into another stock.
Yeah, but you
this one I can have my cake and eat it too.
But it's not eggs in one basket. In real estate, you're buying. Okay, yeah, you can go buy in other markets and that kind of thing, but at the end of the day, you're buying in Ottawa's housing market. Again, I get it. Real estate's never going to zero.
It's like you choosing Google. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, like but you can be in different industries all at the same time. Whereas real estate, you're just in the Ottawa market. If the Ottawa market has a tough 5-year period, all your money's tied up in a tough 5-year period.
Yeah, but like Bitcoin for the past couple of years have had a hard time. I know you're in love with it. Look, this guy's gonna get emotional right now.
No, bro.
I'm not even gonna talk about. I've tried to understand Bitcoins and NFTs and all that stuff.
Okay,
it's just like
can you give us like?
It can't be in 10 minutes. Like it's deep.
It's
deep. Without going deep.
You can't.
Man, you actually can't, because I'm gonna say one thing that needs to lead into this. That leads into this.
Okay, so
do you know what an NFT is?
Like the
non-fungible transaction?
Fungible
token.
Yeah. Token, whatever. I don't give a fuck. It shows you how little I know. But I learned about it. It just made no sense to me how this is so profitable.
It's not. It's a fucking trend.
No, listen. Like I would bet that 99% of NFTs are going to be worth like nothing.
Yeah.
But you can think of tokens as like sort of projects, like there's blockchain. Like you have to understand what blockchain technology is doing.
Okay, so let's say we understand blockchain.
Okay,
it's an end-to-end system with no let hypothetically speaking. Okay, so because I want to separate blockchain from the currency, like Bitcoin
can't. But I think it's tied into each other.
Though. No, it's not. It doesn't have to be the technology.
Because Bitcoin isn't a currency. It's not a currency. You're thinking of it as cash in your pocket. That's not what Bitcoin is.
I'm thinking of it as
and
like
there's
gold.
2 different ways to do it. There's proof of stake and there's proof of work. Those are 2 different things.
Proof of what was the first one?
Proof of work and proof of stake.
Steak.
Okay?
I love steak.
What kind of steak?
Okay,
like tomahawk.
Okay, like stake in the project.
Oh, okay. Steak.
You see what I'm under?
Okay,
you understand?
Yeah, now I understand.
Okay, current Bitcoin is proof of work. That's old technology. That's no longer a thing anymore. There's a certain limit of it. It can get lost and you can never recover it. So it's not a currency. It originally was peer-to-peer cash. No longer the case. Now it's a store of value. Call it digital gold of sorts. Okay. There's a certain amount of gold in the world. You're mining it. You're using it. Whatever.
Yeah.
Same fucking thing with Bitcoin.
But also gold, I could use it for chips and not what you eat, but like technology. I could use it for jewelry. There's other usage for it.
Correct. Same way I can send you Bitcoin for this cup if I wanted to. You know what I mean? Like I can use it as cash if I wanted, but that's not its main function anymore. The original idea, for sure, that was.
So what's the main function of Bitcoin today?
Okay, Bitcoin is a store of value. It's the first mover. It's the first one.
So it's basically people are just putting value to it like we would for gold.
Yes.
I think the housing market is great. I'm going to take money out of Bitcoin, put it in here. But I think the economy is bad.
Listen, you're too hyper-focused on Bitcoin. Okay. Then you go to something like Ethereum, which is a base layer. This is where you can add things like smart contracts.
So so that's a system then.
Sort of. It's still a ledger with all the transactions happening, but it's also like a JavaScript where then other coins, call it whatever, are coming into the Ethereum ecosystem. Ethereum being the base layer to it. Then they're building on top of it. Same thing as a JavaScript, okay? You're building an application on top of it.
Yeah.
Using Ethereum as kind of your base layer, which you're then
So Ethereum is like Chrome, and everybody's just building into Chrome like a website.
Sure, yes.
I don't know. I'm just trying to simplify it.
Okay, so let's look at YouTube, for example. This is super easy. You can understand.
We're on YouTube, by the way.
Okay, YouTube. if you're a creator, yes, we don't make money off YouTube. But if we were to be making money off YouTube, you're making money off the ads.
Yes.
Okay. Everybody goes on YouTube.
Yeah.
Yes, you can pay for YouTube Premium, and maybe you don't get ads and whatever. Same idea.
But you get a portion of that premium revenue, apparently.
Okay, but I'm saying as a creator, that's what you're making money. Okay. Now, instead, if you could trade your base layer coin, Ethereum call it, for now YouTube coin, okay, I could just pay cents, like quite literally 1 cent, 2 cent. It's not in cents because now it's in coin.
Yeah, yeah, whatever.
Same idea.
Yeah.
You could just pay per video not to watch ads, so that the creator who owns the video
gets their money,
gets paid for their thing, and they don't have to rely on people watching the whole ad in order to make money and that kind of thing. That's just one use case, for example.
But you could still have ads, and then the ads would pay. Like you could still
but this person is just taking their coin to pay to say, I don't want to watch this.
Yeah, like
here's
like
your
to
money.
use.
Yeah,
forget
instead of having YouTube as the central.
Yeah, you can also use.
Well, YouTube is a baseline. They're just basically circumventing the system and going around the ad and saying, "Here's your money. I'm gonna go around YouTube and I'm gonna watch the."
Yeah, now I no longer. Yeah, exactly. But in order to watch it, I'm gonna pay. But so it's a system.
Okay, but that's one.
So are people investing? Like, so when people are like, "Oh, Bitcoin's gonna go crazy," are they investing?
This guy's so hyper focused on Bitcoin.
Okay, whatever.
It's fucking annoying, bro.
No, but
it's not Bitcoin.
Not you, but like just like the world, like everyone, like.
Yes, because Bitcoin's the first mover. They were the one that like.
So that's how it all started.
Like that's how blockchain came to like the people call it. You know what I mean?
Okay, so Ethereum or whatever project it is, people are saying, "Oh, that's gonna be."
Bro, think about even a mortgage application. Like mortgage brokers, to a certain extent, a lot of them will be wiped out because there's such thing as smart contracts. Now it's not an underwriter is looking at your file, detecting this, that, the other. People are just going to submit their stuff, and the computer is going to create a contract automatically. Like AI is going to basically scan all your information, create a smart contract, and it's going to say, okay, if this happens, it's going to trigger the contract to bind.
Yeah.
And then you're going to be in a mortgage. It's just going to operate like that by itself.
So you could probably buy and sell the property in the same day. Sign the whole works. Everything's done with lender.
Because this smart contract's related to this smart contract now.
With this
investor. So in order for this to go through and be binding, this has to go through and be binding, but this has 4 stipulations that need to happen before the case, and people can just basically interact with the ledger, and it's all public. Nothing's hidden.
Yeah. Interesting.
And I think that's the whole thing with the ledger, right? Is the fact that it's all public and you can see its history, its entirety, and all the transactions that have come before it.
Yeah.
So long as
it can never be changed, right?
Yeah.
Because the way that blockchains work is this block was created with a hash function of this block, which is all the data put together, creates a hash code or whatever, which then goes to this. So if you're way back here editing the ledger in any way, shape, or form, that fucks up the rest of the
formula doesn't work.
So in order for you to change something back here, you actually have to reverse figure out the hash functions for everything. But because so many people are adding to the blockchain, you'll never actually be able to do it, because you're going to have to work harder to go backwards than you are to go forwards.
Yeah, because it's being added all the time.
Constantly.
Yeah. Okay, I see. So it's supposed to be, so you know how like there's title fraud, people sometimes like, some folks will have mortgage.
Titles will be on blockchain, like everything like that. All the data on Geo Warehouse connected.
So then why can't we just use that as like a baseline in our current system? Why is it?
I think that's where it's going. It's the same way that. So
it's a new technology that we're just gonna add to our functioning system today.
What was the internet in 1990? You know what I mean?
Okay. Yeah.
Like at that point, some people were like, "Oh, that's fucking fake."
Yeah.
That can't be real. Are you crazy?
We had Duke Nukem 3D, bro.
But you know what I mean? Like it's always fucking ridiculous until all of a sudden it's a thing.
Yeah.
You know, like
like the Jetsons having video conference calls.
Yeah, and flying cars and
the problem with like crypto and stuff though is that like when you have something that's so new and not regulated, people take advantage of other people, so people get scammed out of their shit.
Yeah, like right now we have a few big billionaires that have become billionaires as a result of scams, right? Well, that's what they're saying. But like, we don't know.
That's the same in the
Yeah. Because it's so new.
I could start a Ponzi scheme today and collect people's money.
I wouldn't suggest it though. Don't do that.
Yeah. Obviously,
I highly not recommend that. Yeah. So do you think that investing in something like that is risky? Like, how would you compare that?
Risky.
Okay, so how would you compare that in terms of 1 out of 10? If 10 is the risky and 1 is not, what would you rate
It depends it depends on what your timeline is. If you think you're going to put money in today and you're going to be rich next year, you might get lucky with timing. Bitcoin halving's coming up, so yes, like bull run's on its way. But if you
bring up Bitcoin, this guy.
Yeah, he said Bitcoin. Yeah,
you said Bitcoin, and you don't know anything about it, which cheeses me, because you're talking as if it's like fucking nothing, you know. No. But it actually like.
Never seen him so fired up before.
Yeah,
the only problem is how long is it going to take.
Yeah.
The problem is how long is it going to take to actually be integrated
into the world, into the system?
Yeah, like how.
So does it need to be integrated country by country, or is this like the whole world just adopts it?
Yeah, it depends.
I think there just needs to be a buy-in.
The thing is, it doesn't even really matter, because if your store in fucking Finland, you take X coin, that's a system you work on, and some other people and say it's Canada wide, but only one store in Finland, like I can go to Finland and just spend my coin there. Okay. It's whoever accepts it.
Yeah, but if I want to buy and sell a car today, or if I want to buy and sell a house, I still have to go through the ministry.
So here's the thing: what needs to happen is regulations need to come from the government. Okay, and once the government accept and regulate it,
all about government
then
control.
People, well, no, because
shame on
it has to, like, for our systems.
In order for businesses to adopt it to be usable, right?
Yeah.
Because otherwise, the government's just gonna say, "Oh, everybody's tax frauding." Da, 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 da. You know what I mean?
Yeah, interesting.
Because they want their cut too, right?
Well, they want their cut. Yeah, exactly. So how are you gonna
now? They have AI that literally will just look at your, because now there's like something called Know Your Customer. So if you register for a brokerage, they have to take your IDs, prove you are who you are, so they can report you to the CRA, right? But now they can come in with AI and just scan the blockchain for all your transactions and come to a number that, hey, you owe us this for taxes.
Oh, damn. Yeah. Oh, so they weren't so.
Well, yeah, because every transaction, everything you spend, everything you sell, everything's tracked on this blockchain.
So wait, so some people were not paying the taxes, I guess, on the Bitcoin profit,
because there's no regulation on it at the time.
Yeah, but once the money, but like if you're with one of the investment, because that was a different, it wasn't regulated at all.
Exactly.
Yeah, so you
so now as regulations are coming in,
I see.
There you go.
Because you could buy and sell, like you could send money into this crypto world.
Yeah.
I feel so old. Wow.
I
know. Without actually going through a big bank or whatever to 100%. Actually send. So the platform in order to invest in those was never regulated. Now these big banks are part of that platform.
No, not the banks, but the government.
The brokerages.
Like you have to register the people that are using it.
Yeah.
And it's like per province even. Like I'm pretty sure is like it's different in Ontario.
Yeah, because it's regulated at the provincial
level. We should just do a whole episode about this.
This is really
I can have someone on. Like I have someone that's like,
let's do it. This is interesting stuff,
man. Honestly, it's like I understand parts of it, and then I get lost in other parts. Like,
listen, at the end of the day, like I'm nowhere near an expert. I've done a lot of research into it. I understand the basic function of it, and I believe that it's going to eventually be a thing. But back to your like making money on it, safe, risk, whatever.
Yeah.
It depends on your timeline. If you hear about crypto and you say all these people are getting fucking rich overnight, okay, you're gonna get fucked. I'm telling you. You think you're gonna get rich quick, you're gonna get fucked. Yeah. Every single time. But if you understand what it's doing, you understand what individual projects are trying to accomplish, then you can kind of be like, okay, you're looking at it like a business. Is this something that I could see people using in their day-to-day life? Does it something that makes sense? Okay, maybe I put money in and I wait 10-15 years.
I'm just trying to figure out how to evaluate it, because so exactly what you just said, that's a very good point. When I was looking at Facebook or Google, this is like a long time ago, when they went IPO, I remember thinking, okay, how much revenues will they actually generate, and should I invest in this business or not? LinkedIn went
that's
IPO.
The risk, though.
Okay, but we at least could see how much we could forecast a certain amount of revenue. Okay, with this one, like, what is the cap rate? Like, that's what I need to know. Like, how is it going to be monetized?
It's so early that like it's like investing in Facebook when Facebook was just a conception in the mind.
Until they figured out we have to have
like I didn't even watch the movie or whatever, and I don't know my history on Facebook. Okay,
yeah, but
it's like him coming and saying, "Hey, I'm building this project. Like, you should be a part of it. You should invest in it." There's no way you know how much this actually works.
So then how much would you have given the guy? he would have said, "I need $100,000
You
bucks."
would have had to understand how he was planning on making money.
That's
off
it.
Yeah.
You would sit with him for fucking hours trying to figure out what he's trying to do. Is it something you believe in? There's no exact number.
But he would have said, "This is what I need from you.
Okay.
I need $1 million to support the following number of staff, so I could do this."
Yeah.
In this scenario,
but then how much are you gonna make? He couldn't tell you.
Okay, but at least now, if I see a positive outlook in the future, I could be like, okay, yeah, I'm gonna give him $1 million. I'm gonna own 50%, and then because I'm thinking,
yeah, but you're not owning 50%.
Over here, though, we're already on the IPO. We're already live.
Okay.
And I don't see.
You just got to be willing to take that risk.
So here's the thing.
Yeah.
But here's the thing.
Hope that it's going to make money.
The reason that crypto keeps going crazy and then drops is because it gets over speculated.
Yeah.
People are overpaying.
But I feel like stocks in general
for what it is now.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean? Like people say, okay, this is a good idea. The people that are originally in it, they put their money in it. Okay. But then the hype comes in. Everybody starts hopping in for the wrong reason.
Yeah.
End up overpaying. So the price is way too high for what it is now or what it's actually worth now.
And then boom.
It collapses.
All right.
Okay.
Listen, guys, as much as I'm enjoying this.
Yeah, this is good.
We're going over our time. I really think we should do a full episode on this. And get some, real experts, and not that you're not.
I don't think I'm an expert in any way, shape, or form.
Yeah, I love it.
I think we should definitely do a full episode. What do our fans think? Should we do a full episode on crypto and more specifically Bitcoin for Elliott?
That way I don't have to talk.
And then maybe
I'll just have somebody tell
maybe we
guys.
should also have some businesses on the show and kind of understand their struggles. Some restaurants, some barbers, some. If you guys have any suggestions, or if there's any businesses that you want to see on the show, please let us know. We'd love to invite some guests. Thank you for tuning in to another episode of BAM.
Bam.
And thank you to Down to the Wire Studio, who's going to give us 50% off today.
No, he's not.
He's actually going to charge us extra for every second we've gone over.
Yeah, over 2 minutes and 6 seconds.
And on that note, Big Bird is out. Oh!